Yati deva krita devam vitrin yati vitri vita. Bhutani yati bhuteja yati vandyajanopi ma. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. Purport. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose, such as the process technically known as Darsha Purnamashi. These are vividly described in the fruitive activities portion of the Vedas, which recommends a specific worship of demigods situated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Vita planets by performing a specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or pishacha. Pishacha worship is called black arts, or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art, and they think that it is spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planets of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if simply by worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas achieve the Pita planets, or by practicing the black arts achieve the ghostly planets, why can a pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live. And because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahmajyoti. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society, to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. Om Jnana Tamirattasya Pramantana Shalakaya Chakshur Vinitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manodisam Sartam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swadabandika Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatamadakama Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Shakrasatam Shagana Bhagavatam Tam Srivam Swadvaitam Swadvatam Pradeshana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhagavan Bhagavatam Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamstra Hey Krishna Kodana Sindhu Dina Manto Jagapate Kore Shapo Vika Kata Data Kata Prabhustate Kata Kasha Gurani Radhe Vrindavaneshri Prashabhan Sute Devi Pranavani Vaikri Vanchakar Patavyascha Vasanto Kevacha Adita Bhavadebhya Vaishnavya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura-bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yati Deva Vata Deva, Yati Pritri Vata, Bhutani Yati Bhuteja, Yati Bhati Yajanopiman. Yati, one can go to the Devaloka, to the Pitri-loka, to the Bhuta-loka, planets of the ghosts, or to the Krishna-loka. Yanti Deva, but not by mechanical means. The attempt to go to other planets by mechanical means will not succeed. It will not succeed. But here the method is given. If you want to go to any planet, then you have to please the predominating deities there. If Surya is pleased by your worship, you can go to the sun planet. If Chandra is pleased, you can go to the moon. Wherever one wants to go. The Vedic literature, the Vedas are full of prescriptions for how to go to the Svargaloka, which is a materialistic destination. Punyang Shine Vajaloka Vishanti. Earlier in this chapter, it said that one may worship the, what is that? Let's see. By performing yagyas, appropriate yagyas, one can go to Svargaloka and Ashnanti Divyan Divideva. One can get heavenly Divideva Bhoga means the enjoyment that the demigods receive. Tetam Putra Svargolokam Vishalam. Vishal means extensive. Extensive happiness. We get some little few drops of happiness. But on the heavenly planets you can get extensive sense gratification. But then, Kshine Punya Martulokam Vishanti. When one's punya is credit of punya is exhausted, one comes back down. By punya karma, pious activities, one can go to Svargaloka. And then, in Svargaloka, one is spending. Punya is like a kind of capital. We acquire sufficient capital, you can go to Svargaloka. But all the time you're there, you're spending your capital. And then you have to come back down. Back down to Marchaloka, the human mortal world. Something like a vacation. People save up their money, and when they have sufficient savings, they can come to Mauritius and stay in some hotel on the beach and enjoy. But every day there's restaurant bills, food bill, the hotel bill, this bill, transportation. And they're not making any more money while they're on vacation. So finally, back to London or wherever they came from. Soon similarly, by punya, on this earthly planet one can gain, one can earn pious activities, and then one can go to Svargaloka. Not ordinary pious activities, one has to get a lot. But then, when it's used up, punya, shide punya vachaloka vishanti, evam tre dharma vanu bhavana, tathagata kama kama bhavante. This way one pursues desires, and one goes, but then one comes back down, then maybe he can go again, then he has to come down again. But he's not really going anywhere. Therefore, Lord Krishna said, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Vamarjana. The Vedas are full of topics relating to the three modes of material nature. But, my dear Arjuna, you should rise above these three modes and come to the spiritual platform, the transcendental platform. Yes. So, Devavata, by worshipping the demigods, one can go to the demigods, but it's useless. Similarly, by worshipping the Pitas, one can go to the Pitriloka. By worshipping the ghosts, ghost worship is described in the Bhagavad-gita as, what is that? For those in the mode of ignorance. Where is that? Someone numbered this?
17:4.
17:4. And who knows the numbers? Yes. Yajante satvika devan yaksha rakshansi rajasa pretan bhutaganam chanye yajante tamasanjana. In the mode of goodness, those in the mode of goodness worship the devas. Those who are in passion worship the yakshas and rakshasas. Preta bhutaganam chanye yajante tamasana. And those in the mode of ignorance worship the ghosts. Some people think this is a ghost thing. They're very special. And especially people in villages, uneducated and foolish, worship some sort of ghost. Sometimes we read in the newspaper they've chopped up the bodies of their neighbors to offer to some ghost. And the ghost may give them some power. But Yativat Yajanokiva, as one can go to these other destinations by worshipping the particular persons in charge, one can go back to Godhead by worshipping Krishna. And after achieving that destination, one never has to come back. Doesn't sound low competitive. Another point that Prabhupada makes from this verse is this one, that the impersonalists think The impersonalists have a philosophy that it doesn't really matter who you worship. Because you may worship Ganesh, you may worship Surya, you may worship Vishnu, you may worship Durga, you may worship Lord Shiva. And it doesn't really matter because these are just imaginary manifestations of the same supreme truth. We're like conduits, you go through this channel and you reach the same destination. It doesn't really matter what path you take, all the roads lead to God. You just worship any deity and you come to the Supreme. It's your choice. Whichever deity you like, you choose one, Ishtadevata. And as long as you worship that deity sincerely and with faith, you'll achieve the Supreme. But here that idea is contradicted. And yes, that idea is contradicted. It's not that whoever you worship, you get the same result. Just like if you buy a ticket for, say you're in Bombay, you buy a ticket for Madras, Chennai, you'll go to Chennai. You buy a ticket for some other place, Calcutta, you'll go to Calcutta. Buy a ticket for London, you'll go to London. It's not that any ticket you buy will take you to the same destination. It's not that when you go to the ticket office, and you say, I'd like a ticket for London, you say, well, I'm going to take one for Calcutta. Do I want to go to London? It doesn't matter, we'll get to the same. Your London ticket takes you to London, your Calcutta ticket takes you to Calcutta. Not that it's all the same. Not at all that it's all the same. But similarly on the spiritual platform or in terms of different kinds of worship, it's not that worshipping the demigods will take me to the same result, the same destination as worshipping Vishnu or Krishna. Yanti Mat, Krishna says, those who worship me come to me. Those who worship someone else go somewhere else. In the previous verse, of course, the Lord said, Ye pyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayatmita tepi mame bhagavate. Actually, everyone who's worshipping anyone is worshipping me. They're worshipping Anya Devata, some other deity, but actually they're worshipping me. Then someone says, well, you see, doesn't matter. But Krishna says, Yajanti Avadi Purvaka. But they're doing it the wrong way. Just like Prabhupada gave the example, there are 9 holes in the body. If you put food in your ear, that's also putting food in your body. But it's not that you'll get the same result as by putting food in your mouth, because you're doing it the wrong way. So those who are worshipping the demigods, they're also worshipping the Supreme, but Abhiti Purvaka, the wrong way. Very clearly, Abhiti Purvaka, the wrong way. Shraddhayarpita, although they're doing their worship very sincerely, sincerity is not the only consideration. Someone may be very sincerely driving on the wrong side of the road. That doesn't make it the right side. Someone may be very sincerely taking the wrong medicine. That doesn't make it the right medicine. Someone may be very sincerely worshipping this deity or that deity. But it doesn't mean that he's following the right path to achieve the supreme destination. And Tivanyajanobiva, those who are worshipping me achieve me. Yanti Deva Vadadeva. Another point here is that these are not imaginary places. It's not that the Deva Loka, the Krishna Loka, they're just mythological places or symbols of something. They're places of residence. If you're qualified, you can go to the Svarga-loka. Or if you're qualified a different way, you can go to Pitra-loka or to the places where the ghosts live. Or if one is qualified, one can go to the planets of the Supreme Personality of God. The moon, the sun, these are not imaginary. Similarly, the planets of the demigods are real, they're not imaginary. And the planets in the spiritual sky are also real. They may be beyond our ability to achieve or even to detect by empiric research. But we get information of these planets from the Vedic knowledge. The Krishna Loka is described in the Bhagavad-gita as Jayadvaita, a place where everything is conscious. This world is the world where there's duality. We have consciousness, but the body is just a machine. And not that great a machine either. And that duality between body and self exists in Svarga or throughout this material world. But if one is willing to leave behind the gross body and even the subtle body, then in a spiritual body one can reach the planets of the Supreme Personality of God, either the Vaikuntha Lokas or directly the planet of Krishna. The destination of the impersonalists is the Brahmajyoti, which is also part of the spiritual sky. But in the Brahmajyoti there's no activity, there's no form, there's no relationship. And therefore, from Aruna Krishna Param Padam Tata Patantyada Nadrata Yusvadagra. Even after attaining the Brahmajyoti with so much difficulty, because it's not such an easy thing, Patantyada. Again, they return to this material world because of neglecting the lotus feet of the personality of God. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sarapajati Suri. And ultimately, the devotees are engaged. They're the best transcendentalists. In the 12th chapter, Arjuna asks directly, which is better, those who are fixed on your on the impersonal absolute truth, or those who are engaged in direct personal devotional service? And Krishna directly says, those who are engaged in serving the personality of God are the better position, and the best position. What is that?
Yeah.
Maya Veshamano Ye Mam Nityayukto Vasate Shraddhaya Padayo Vetaste Me Yukta Tamamata. The question of which path is better, personal or impersonal, is directly answered in by the Lord Himself in the Bhagavad-gita. The conclusion is that one should not waste time on anything that can be achieved in the material world, because ultimately it will be lost. The Bhagavatam advises that one should try to achieve that destination which is beyond the three worlds. Yes. The sense gratification can be had in any species of life. Indra is getting his sense enjoyment, which is so extensive. The ant is getting sense enjoyment, which according to the ant's experience is also extensive. And we're someplace in the middle. We think our sense gratification is such great stuff. But it's the same thing. Well, the human life is the opportunity to go beyond the limits of dull, entangling sense enjoyment and achieve a healthy condition of pure devotional service. And we're meant to do that. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come for that purpose, to give this Hare Kirtan, chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Maybe I'll stop talking and see if there's some questions. Spread the work around. Yes.
Krishna Maharaj. If ever we worship one of the real incarnation of Vishnu, if ever we worship one of the real reincarnation of Vishnu, does this mean that we go to Vaikuntha Lok?
Yes, by worshipping the different incarnations. Generally one goes to the...
For example, Vamandev, Nrsimhadev.
Yeah. Yeah, these are Vishnu incarnations, so one goes to the Vishnu. Of course, we're worshipping. That's a different thing. We're worshipping these incarnations with the understanding that they're forms of Krishna. So the devotee of Krishna understands that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Krishna is everything. So he includes all the other incarnations. Vamandev is part of Krishna, Nrsimhadev is partial manifestation of Krishna, or Ramchandra is a partial manifestation of Krishna. So the Krishna devotee glorifies the Lord in all of his incarnations, but still keeps his understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is the ultimate Godhead. So it's not that, oh no, I worship Lord Ramchandra today. It was Ram Navami, I worship Lord Ramchandra. I've spoiled my chances for going back to Krishna Loka. So it's appreciation. The devotee will appreciate Krishna in all of his activities as the avatars, as Purusha avatars, as all the different forms that Krishna takes. It's all a manifestation of the glories of that same Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay? Yes.
So, when the soul leaves the body, it moves on to another body. So, where's this concept of Pitri-loka comes? Because it's...
I don't really understand Pitri-loka. I confess to you. I don't know what the qualifications are for going there. Of course, here, Pitri and Yanti, Pitri Pratati, worship the Pitris. You can go there. The location is described as the lower part of the universe. So it's a definite place and you can go there. But it appears that not every forefather goes there. Otherwise it would be the only planet with any kind of population. So some particular living entities live there, but I don't understand very well who they are. And does that do a good job of not answering your question? Something else? Yes.
They'll give you a
microphone.
Switch on. Leave now.
Yeah, that's good. It was good. It seemed good. I think you had a loud voice. You began to speak and I could hear you.
We can't waste that.
Yes, Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, Nishingadev told him that, he asked for liberation of his father, Hiranyakashipu, and Nishingadev told him, so many generations, have been liberated. And Bali Maharaj, where does he fit in? Because he also in that generation. How do does one understand this?
He was also liberated.
He was liberated by Vamadev, yes, but
Good enough. Not only everyone else was just liberated, but Bali Maharaj got special mercy. Liberation is fairly ordinary, according to the Vaishnava calculation. If you just achieve liberation, that's sort of the baseline or the starting place. There's material existence, then there's liberation. Then after liberation, the actual healthy life begins. Just as in medical treatment, there's disease, then there's convalescence, then there's health. So the liberation is like convalescence. You're not diseased anymore, but you're not back to your normal activities. You're not regularly eating and working and enjoying. So liberation is fairly common thing. I don't mean common. And millions and millions, but it's not so exceptional as devotional service. So just to achieve liberation, freedom from sinful reactions and so on, that's very good. But what Bali Maharaj achieved was far beyond that. Far beyond liberation. Being born personally, exchanged with him in transcendental pastimes, and even became his doorkeeper. So the ordinary liberated soul can't hope to achieve such things. That's only possible by pure devotional service. Lord Nishingadev didn't guarantee that all of your descendants for so many generations will become pure devotees. He just said they'll get liberation. But Bali Maharaj got so much more. Is that okay? Yes.
It is said that we have a movement in Mauritius called out or living. But Hare Krishna is said to be out of dying. Can you explain this to us?
He says that Mauritius has an organization called Out of Living. But here we are teaching Out of Dying.
They're also teaching the art of dying. They call it art of living, but their art of living is to live for the senses. That means death. How to continue? What is that? Shradhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Sangsara. Those who don't have faith in this process of pure devotional service naturally don't achieve Krishna. Aprapya Mam. They have to achieve something. What do they achieve? Nivartante Mrityu Sangsara. What they achieve is continuation of the journey on the path of birth and death. Being branded as the art of living, or you may brand it this way or that way. But if we neglect the personality of Godhead, then it's Mrityu Sangsara Bharti, the path of repeated birth and death. for the actual question.
What we call ISKCON, Hare Krishna movement, as an art of dying.
We don't, there's not art. You don't advertise, come, this is the art of dying.
Thanks. Thanks.
But it's the art of everything. How to live in Krishna consciousness, and then how to go back to Godhead. Actually, that dying is not dying, it's living. Otherwise, the ordinary death means Mrityu samsara, to continue the path of birth and death. So when we're teaching how to live, it's not that we're just all about death. How to die, how to die. You know, your whole life is about how to die. It is that, because we die to go back to God. But in this life also, we're very happy to be engaged in Krishna's service. Otherwise, to the art of living for sense gratification is the wrong art. Every animal is doing that. The art of gratifying the senses is known to the dog, to the pig, to the bird, to the beast. They don't have to spend money to learn that art, or join some organization to learn that art. They all know the art of living for sense gratification. But they're not so foolish that they think it's spiritual. That I have to go to a yogi, a swami, and he'll teach me the art of sense gratification. Every dog knows it. But the actual art of living is how to live in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Life is meant for that.
Maharaj, I have a silly question, I guess. I was wondering if the concept of devotional service in itself, is it a concept for this yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, devotional service and kirtan, yajna? It's all different. This yuga, devotional service is a process to come closer to Krishna. But I'm wondering if the concept in itself is from this yoga, or is it also a concept which the demigods, I was thinking about Lord Indra and how the citizens of Vrindavan were worshipping Lord Indra. So was that also devotional service? So was it also something related to the demigods, and is only the object now changed? Has the object been changed? Like now it is Krishna. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, everyone's devoted to something.
Yes.
If we're worshipping Indra, are we performing devotional service?
Yes.
And then worshipping Krishna is just, substituting a different object, but it's all devotional service. Everyone's devoted to something.
Okay.
Someone's devoted to Indra, someone's devoted to the ghosts, someone's devoted to his wife, someone's devoted to his husband, someone's devoted to money. Everyone is devoted to something, and everyone's putting energy into that. But that's different from bhakti. Devotional service is Prabhupada's English word, bhakti. Bhakti means especially, particularly, devotional service to Krishna. That's not the same as these other things.
Thank you so much for explaining.
Apart from their name, what is their philosophy?
Yes.
What is their philosophy?
Service to Krishna. Service to Krishna.
That's their philosophy, service to Krishna? Art of living, is that what they say? Service to Krishna?
they don't have a philosophy, I guess.
Does anyone know what is their philosophy?
They don't have one.
They
don't have
Yeah.
I guess.
The art of not having a philosophy.
Mhm.
The art of no philosophy, no knowledge.
Everybody's God there.
Everyone's God here. The art of foolishness then. Some other questions?
Krishna Maharaj, when we have a concept in society generally that all religion are like rivers, and that all religion are like rivers, and all rivers flow to the ocean, and God being all merciful and all compassionate, right, to people. So religion is just about perfecting the soul with values, and everyone will reach the same destination.
Yeah, that's a common idea that as all rivers flow down to the same ocean, all methods of worship will reach the same target and bring you to the same place. But that's not upheld in Bhagavad-gita.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, yanti deva gata deva. Krishna doesn't say, if your religion is to worship Lord Indra, you'll come to me. If your religion is to worship the ghosts, you'll come to me. If your religion is something else, you'll all come to me.
But Maharaj, my thought is about like this. Everyone is conditioned at different level
Right.
by this material world. So God being all merciful, the Atma has not chosen to be conditioned to whatever degree. He has not chosen his conditioning. So if he is sincere in whatever level he is, so Krishna as Paramatma cannot
Krishna can do everything, but sincerity again is not the qualification. I just quoted. Ye pyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita. Shraddhayanvita means full of faith, sincere. Yepi anya devata bhakta, those who are devotees of anya devata, some other god. And yajante, they're performing worship. Shraddhayanvita, with great faith. Tepi bhavena gantya, Krishna says, they're worshipping me only. But yajanti avidipurvaka, the wrong way. Prabhupada gives the example that a law-abiding person pays his taxes. That's what we're supposed to do. But if you're very clever, then you think, why should I pay this tax money to the government? If I'm in the transportation business, if I can give a bribe to the Ministry of Transportation, that's better. But that's a vidipurvaka. Now that's illegal. And it's not that you get the same destination. It's not the same person who wisely invests in, say, a money market account or something, gets the same destination as the man who robs the bank. The person who has a bank account, he's taking money from the bank in the form of interest. And the person who's robbing the bank, he's also taking money from the bank. It's not the same. So, the worship of the demigods doesn't bring one to the same goal.
No, I mean, like someone have not chosen his conditioning.
First of all, everyone has chosen to forget Krishna. That's our misuse of independence. Then, because of that misuse of independence, sometimes we're worshipping the demigods, sometimes we're worshipping the ghosts, sometimes we're worshipping some rock stars, sometimes we're
maybe the person have not heard of the ISKCON or have not had the Bhagavad-gita, and still with whatever he had.
that's a different thing. First thing, yes. So if they're fortunate, then they will hear of ISKCON. It has to do, if in his previous life he began devotional service, then in this life he can pick up where he left off. Or if you make him fortunate, he has no credit, but you go out and give him the information, then he can become fortunate. Otherwise, Tribir, Gunamaya, Bhavar, Ebi Sarva Nikam Trigat, Movitam Navijanati, Ma Mebya Paramavya. Practically no one knows Krishna because everyone's bewildered by the three modes of nature. Someone's bewildered by ignorance, someone by passion, someone by goodness. Everyone is bewildered. And in that bewilderment, they're worshipping this, they're worshipping that, they're worshipping this. They're following this religion, they're following that religion. But they're not following the path of pure devotional service. And they don't get the same result. This idea, whatever you do, brings you to the same result, is absolute foolishness. It's just absolute foolishness. What if you don't want the same result? Oh no, I wanted to go to the heavenly planets, and here I am in Krishna Loka. It's like any ticket you buy, London. But I wanted to go to Calcutta, London. I wanted to go to Chennai, London. But I wanted to. When any ticket you buy, you go to London. That doesn't make any sense. But they have this idea in the spiritual ticket you buy, you go to the same destination. They don't even know clearly what that destination is. Something else?
Is it true to say that if ever we have become Krishna conscious, our forefathers get liberated?
If we become Krishna conscious, our forefathers can become liberated. Yes, that's possible. That can happen. That's stated by the Srikadeva Prabhupada. So many generations forward, so many generations back. Liberated means freed from sinful reactions. So it's the greatest service. Just like one, Chant says, if there's one fragrant tree in the forest, the whole forest becomes fragrant. So one devotee can do so much good for his family. You have a question?
Yes. How do we reconcile the fact that we should not be disturbing the faith of the demigod worshippers at the same time we have instruction from
Why not
Prabhupada?
disturb the faith of the demigod worshippers? Who said don't disturb the faith of the demigod worshippers? Where is this injunction? Don't disturb the faith of the demigod worshippers. In Bhagavad-gita is no fun, you mustn't disturb the faith of the demigod worshippers. Otherwise, why does Krishna say, Sarva dharma pratyajam madekam? Or, sometimes we give that, all right, you worship the demigod, but understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. So you worship the demigod as servant of Krishna, that's all. They have great faith in Lord Shiva or Ganesh. That's all right. But as servant of Krishna, not in any other way. Not thinking that the demigod said Krishna is all the same. Yastu Narayanam Deva, Rudravidaya Vidaya, Samtari Maiva Vikshita, Yapashanti Bhavi. Anyone who thinks that the demigods are the Supreme Personality of God are on the same level is described as passionate for an atheist. We must disturb them. We disturb everybody. demigod worshippers, the performers of pious activities, the philanthropists, the humanitarians, the vegetarians, the impersonalists, the nationalists, the happy family at the end. We like to disturb everyone. They're living in the fire of birth and death, constantly. They're thinking everything is all right. We must disturb it. No? Just like sometimes there's a tremendous political disturbance in the country. And then everyone is, what? Get out, get out, get out. What was that 9/11 when the building was collapsing? So some of the, there was an announcement. Everything's all right, just stay at your desk, everything's fine. And those who listened to that voice perished. But some people said, this is crazy. The building's been hit by a plane, let's get out of here. And the elevator's not running, we'll run down the stairs. And some of those people got out. And they took their colleagues with them. Come on, let's get out of here. It's not just that, well, everything's all right, and a big voice on the loudspeaker says, just stay here. The building is collapsing. Let's get out. Well, that's not, that may be a disturbance, but that's a helpful disturbance. Some places said that the duty of the preacher is to comfort the distressed and distress the comfortable. Something else? Yes.
He said that Lord Ganesh should be remembered first. Before Lord Ganesh should be remembered first.
Yes.
But
It said that one should first worship Lord Ganesh. So what's your question?
how it is related to Krishna consciousness?
Yes, the worship of Ganesh is taken as the remover of obstacles. So traditionally one first offers respect to Ganesh, puja to Ganesh, for progress on the path of devotional service to Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada advised us not to do that. Especially because people, the tendency is there to get all confused. Some Prabhupada had us directly go on the path of serving Krishna. Some disciples asked, they were doing Sankirtan and collecting money for Vrindavan. So Prabhupada, they asked Prabhupada, can we worship Ganesh for success in our collection? And Prabhupada said yes, but then you have to collect at least, he told some, at least $1 million a day, like that. That's a huge thing. Not a farthing less. Otherwise, don't do that.
Biggest obstacle.
Shall we stop here?